I ask people 3 questions around the world, 3 basic questions. And I have a little courage meter, and the courage goes from 1 to 10. 1, piece of cake, no sweat. I can do it in my sleep, no big deal. 10, oh my God, the world will end. You know, hell will freeze over. Everything will die. Everybody, ends if I do this. So I ask people on a courage meter 1 to 10. How much courage does it take to say no to more work? How much courage does it take to delete 50% of your emails without ever reading them? And how much courage does it take to not go to one of your boss's meetings even though you know it's a waste of time?
Right.
On all 3 of those, the average around the globe is about 7. That is horrifying. Most of our people who are working are afraid to delete an email. If we can't delete our emails and we can't keep up with them, how are we going to have the courage to live a life worth living and to do great work? Most of us are on the treadmill of answering emails instead of doing great work. I can't emphasize enough the perspective that I hope to bring to this conversation that's maybe slightly different than many of the other people you're speaking to is you need to create the space for great work.
Right.
And right now, most everybody that is going to be reading your book feel it takes a lot of courage to miss something, to not go to a meeting, to not delete, that email. Oh my God, I'll be in trouble. People will think poorly of me. Well, you only have 1,440 minutes, and you have to make choices. This is, Randy Pausch, the last lecture. He got up in front of everybody and said, "I'm dying. These are the choices you have to make." And he says, what you got to choose. And for most people, it's not about whether or not they're going to die and spend time with their family, but they don't realize that all those emails they're trying to keep up with and all those meetings they're trying to keep up with are stealing time from their sons, their daughters, their spouses, their themselves.
Exactly. So now, this is one of the things I love about the Simplicity Survival Handbook is that at the start of each one of the sort of 32 approaches or tactics, you have 3 omissions. One is courage, one is difficulty, and one is yield. So people can truly weigh up just what's at stake by taking this on board. And I think your insight is very powerful about it takes courage to do great work because you must make choices. In fact, you must say no to somebody and something. In fact, really, one of the measurements of great work is who's pissed off with you.
Exactly.
But if somebody's slightly irritated with you, it means that you've actually started to say no and create some focus and some boundaries around that.
And the one thing that I would add to that, and when you're ready, this can segue into what am I doing next, I found a huge generational difference. When I do speaking tours, still most of the people that attend my workshops and keynotes are in their 40s or above. And what I find, they are paralyzed by this fear, and they're tying deleting to an email to the economy, to the 2.2 kids that I have at home, the white picket fence, the mortgage, and my job. And oh my God, if I delete this email, I will lose the job. First of all, that's all bogus. But what I want to point out is there is a huge generational difference. Gen Y, or everybody 25, maybe depending on where you do the dividing line, 30 and under, they don't care about this. They'll delete like crazy.
Right.
Matter of fact, they won't listen to you even though you want them to. My son is 21, and I keep sending him emails, and he says, yeah, when I get to it, when I feel like it, and
Right.
I keep going, but I'm the authority figure. I don't say that, but I feel that sometimes.
Sure.
You're supposed to listen to me. I'm the dad. And his generation is like that. It's like and I think that's wonderfully positive about them. They don't get caught up in this, oh my God, I've got to keep up with all these emails. They pay attention to the ones they feel are important,
Right.
and they ignore the rest. And that you have to do that. Wisely, but, not destroying your career. But you cannot. Information is doubling every 550 days. Every 550 days, you will have twice as much information in your inbox. You cannot keep up the way you are doing it. You have to change.
So that ties back with how you started the conversation about the capacity to scan and extract what matters quickly. And there is something about that younger generation that has this ability just to rip through information more quickly and faster than older folks. I count myself as one of those older folks. And their ability to target what they're going to choose to respond to and what not to.
And there's upsides and downsides to both generational approaches. The upside for 25 and younger is they can scan quickly. The downside is they scan too quickly and they don't really get some meaning. The boomers spend way too long, but they get a lot more depth and meaning than Gen Yers. So there needs to be mentoring on both sides. In fact, one of the things I end every workshop with is get yourself two mentors, one that is half your age and one that is twice your age.
That's a great piece of advice.
One that's twice your age is to teach you the wisdom of the ages, the timeless thing.
Yeah.
One that is half your age is not to teach you technology and help you with the latest upgrade of whatever you got. It's to teach you this is the way the world is going to work, in the next 10 years. Wake up and pay attention to it.
Hey, it's MVS here. If you picked up a copy of my book, The Advice Trap, well, make sure you go to theadvicetrap.com. Not only is there a process for taming your advice monster, but there are downloads on how to ask a question powerfully well.